Hey everybody, I know it's been a while since I've been on, and I promised to post an update after I got my scans and everything back. I haven't had any Temu hauls, but this is a Temu bathing suit that I hauled a while ago, and it looks really cute, so there's that. So my family came to visit this last week, which is why I wasn't posting online. We were busy visiting, and then I'm actually out here recording out in the nice, beautiful weather we're having out by my swimming pool. And it's supposed to be sunny today, but it's kind of a little bit cloudy. I don't usually sit out after chemo, but I thought I'd try and get out here and get a little vitamin D in. Anyway, my scans actually came back really good. I don't have any systemic progression. All of my bone mets are stable, just the same bone mets that have been there for 2 years. Nothing has progressed. Same spots that have been there, so that's really good. And then you're going to hear my dog bark here in a minute because he sees the neighbor's dog. So that's great. So 2 years of no systemic progression is amazing. And then yesterday I had chemo, which I'm going to tell you a story about this because this is like, I was so frustrated, and maybe it seems ridiculous to people, but before you have chemo, for people who don't know how the cancer world works, you have to have blood tests run every single time. So I get my treatment every 3 weeks. So every 3 weeks I have to have these blood tests run. Excuse me. So I had my doctor's appointment at 8:40, and the doctor was on time. He usually is. And over all my blood work for my CBC, which came back really quick. And it turns out I need to start taking some B12 supplements just because my bone marrow has I have disease in my bones. So my bone marrow has kind of slowed down in the production of that, but that's not a big deal. I'll take these supplements over the counter, and if those don't work, we'll do shots. But I'll start those today. And then otherwise, my CBC came back really good. My whites are low, but that's normal. My absolute neutrophil count came back a click above normal, which is great because it's usually always low. And everything else came back really good, minus that B12 test. So, but my complete metabolic panel always takes longer to come back, and it's especially taking longer since our lab in oncology is under construction, so they're having to send the blood work over to the hospital, which takes a long time. I ended up waiting 3 hours for this metabolic panel to come back, and I was so upset over it, and because I was tired of sitting in the hospital. I didn't want to sit there anymore. My treatment was supposed to start at 9, and it didn't start until 11. And maybe this seems ridiculous to people, but guys, I spend so much time in hospitals, for tests and scans and all of those things. And so when I go, I just want to get in there and get out and just be done. I don't want to spend all of my time sitting there. I ended up spending 6 hours at the oncology clinic yesterday, and I was just done. I was so upset, and I was so stressed out having to be there all this time. Didn't want to be there all that time. Wanted to go in, get my treatment, and just get out of there so I could come home. And I was just upset and stressed, but I have to say it was not the people at oncology. It wasn't the oncology clinic's fault. It was the hospital's fault for not getting that blood work back in a timely fashion. But the nurses and my PA and the doctor, they were so understanding and so kind, and just realized that I was just having a time of it. I mean, I wasn't mean to them. I would never be. I even told them, I said, I'm not upset with you guys. I know this isn't your fault. I know it's not, you guys didn't, it's delayed at the hospital. There's nothing you can really do about that. There's so many delays that are that's out of their control. But I just reminded myself that my scans came back good, so it wasn't all bad. There was a reason to celebrate. It's just sometimes it's so frustrating. The cancer world is, I always say, it's always an adventure because you never know what's going to happen next. It can be frustrating. And a lot of times people don't like to hear that. They want to hear the inspirational stories. They want to hear that you're always doing great and you're always doing well. And yes, for the most part, I do great. I do what I can do. I feel great most of the time. Today I'm a little tired because I had chemo yesterday. I forced myself to get outside in the sun today for a little while, maybe an hour or two. I won't be out here all day by any means. As you can see, I'm all suited up with my hat, my sunglasses, and all that stuff. But it's hard, and I feel like sometimes we don't want to hear that part of a cancer when someone's going through cancer. We don't want to hear that it's hard. We want to hear how inspirational they are and But I'm here to tell you, sometimes it's just hard. And it's hard because we spend a lot of time in hospitals, and not just hospitals for blood work and chemo. We get infections more often. We have to go to the doctor more often. We're having scans. We're having blood tests. We're having all of this stuff done. And it's all meant to save our life. And it has saved my life. And I'm so grateful for all of that, for all of the stuff that has come from the years of research and development. And I'm here today because of that. I'm alive today because of it. But it's hard, y'all. And I want you to know that. I don't want you to think that I'm some person that is above that, because I'm not. I struggle with it. And I've struggled with this diagnosis, and I, for the most part, am able to deal with it. But sometimes, like yesterday, I just was not a happy camper. I mean, I was there and they knew I wasn't feeling it, and they knew I was upset, and they knew why I was upset, and they felt awful that there I was waiting for this to get done, and it just wasn't getting done. And I was spending my whole day sitting there over a complete blood panel, a complete metabolic panel that should have been back within 30 minutes. And here I was 3 hours later, and it was still not back. And it came back just fine. There wasn't anything there that would have prohibited me from getting my treatment anyway. There normally isn't. Normally, I'm going to get treatment regardless of what the metabolic panel says, but they have to have that back to sign off on the treatment plan. So it wasn't their fault. I love my doctor. I love my PA. The nurses are great. I don't want anyone to think that they were somehow responsible for that. They weren't. They were great. And they were just like, did you see that bee that just flew by me? Holy cow. But it was just a day, and I struggled. And so I want to put this out there for anyone struggling with, cancer or anything else where you have to spend a lot of time dealing with hospitals and doctors and all of that stuff. It is okay to not be an inspirational person all the time. That is one of the biggest reliefs I found when I was dealing with this. Somebody told me, he was actually a pastor. He had been a pastor of mine, and he said, it is not your job to be other people's inspiration. It is your job to survive. And that was so freeing, because I think so many times we feel the need that we need to be inspirational, and we need to be saying positive words all the time, or somehow we're looked at as not a positive person. And y'all, I am a positive person, and I have a positive outlook on life, and I look towards my future with hope, and I'm already alive when I shouldn't be. So I feel like that right there is a blessing. But it's hard, and it's a journey, and it's a hard journey, and sometimes I struggle with it, and sometimes I get in my head and have to feel all the feelings before I can continue on. So, but for most of the time, I feel blessed. I don't feel cursed. I don't feel like I was somehow, I guess, that I did something to cause this, because I didn't. And so that's my feeling on it. I feel like even though I've been going through all of this, God has still been good to me, and that I have had 2 years of stable disease, which is amazing for the type of cancer that I have. And I don't ever take that for granted. I don't take life for granted. I'm sitting out here by the pool. I feel blessed. I feel loved. I feel like there's a lot left for me. There's a lot left in store for me. And I don't ever take life for granted. I don't ever take being there for my kids for granted. I was at my kids' honors day the other day. My son was recognized for being a star student in sports management, one of my boys, and my other son was recognized for a year of perfect attendance in middle school. And so we were so proud, and we celebrated, and we got a McDonald's afterwards, and I took a picture with them, which I won't show on here because I don't really want to show them all over YouTube, but they're amazing. And I recognize my daughter at home for her good grades all year. She passed every class, and she was a sophomore, so she's going to be a junior. And so I feel blessed to be there for those things, and I love it, and I love to be there, and I wouldn't miss it for the world, and I haven't had to miss it. And so I'm glad I can participate in all of that. I mean, these minor things, these things that come up where I have to wait long at the doctor's office, yeah, they bother me, and I sometimes get in my feelings over it. It's not the end of the world. It's not, it is what it is. I mean, I have to have treatment. If I didn't have cancer, I wouldn't be there. So I'm grateful for my treatment. I'm grateful that it has allowed me to be here for all of these things for my kids. And I'm grateful that I'm able to come out here and sit in the sun today, even though I don't always feel like it after chemo, and I probably don't feel like it today, but I'm going to get myself some vitamin D. So I will be talking to all of you guys later, and I hope you all have a wonderful day and a wonderful week. And yeah, God bless all of you. Bye.